Sam, welcome back. So this is part two, For the Ages, doing a deep dive into golf fashion. So all the history we talked part one about the evolution going through the various decades, starting from the 1700s, 1800s, leading all the way into the 2000s. Um, Now I want to talk a little bit about more of the modern game. Where things stand today, right? So when you think of current players on tour, and we can stick with on tour since they're the most visible, who are some current players that you tend to be attracted to from a golf fashion perspective?
Yeah, you got some. We've got a lot more personality now. I feel like within the game than we had maybe 10, 15 years ago. Certainly the mid noughties, around between 2010 and 2020. Wasn't tons of guys with bringing great outfits, but I think the evolution of social media has definitely impacted the fashion side of things for the tour. Um, Nowadays, we mentioned in part one, Adam Scott, Billy Horschel. You've got Justin Thomas, Kashmir Keith Mitchell is they're bringing certainly a different flavour to proceedings. Certainly influenced by that more old school way of dressing, but with some, I mean, trousers that just great fits on the trousers. The as the nickname suggests, some great materials being worn. Um, so yeah, Keith's someone who always dresses well, always has a certain swagger about him. Jason Day's a really interesting one. I have a Jason Day take that I'm not sure the world is ready for, but I might share that one with you if you prompt me into it now.
Yeah, let's
But
do it.
Jason Day, somewhat he just Jason Day, right? Like Melbourne, great brand, great to have them in the space. They're making some gear that no one else is making. They make great quality product. It's really well made stuff. It's not like they're just it's run of the mill stuff and they're just sticking a big M on it, calling it Melbourne and selling it. Like that's not what they do. They make good quality product. But was Jason Day stylish before Melbourne? He's turned into everyone's style god. Like every single week he's playing, there is an Instagram account that will take a photo, like share a photo of his outfit for the day, and call out how good he looks, that sort of thing. But was he stylish before, or is it just because now he's wearing one of the most popular brands in recent times? Is he now stylish? Throwing that one out there, so people may have their takes on that. He was always smart in his dress. Obviously, previously with Nike, through
Mhm.
a Nike era where it was maybe difficult to really show your style, and then prior to that with Adidas, or Adidas, should I say for my US friends? Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's one that I thought about a little bit. Like he obviously Malvin had some great gear, some different gear, and he's been dressing very well in it over the last sort of 18 months or so. Um, but was he stylish before? I'm going to leave that one open to people's interpretation. A couple others, just to touch on Ludwig. We mentioned Ludwig a little bit in part one, a guy who doesn't necessarily always dress in the best gear that Adidas have available, but someone who always looks good in whatever he wears. Just a great frame for clothes. He's what, 6'3", good looking lad. Yeah, he always looks good. And then Max Homer is a low key one for me. Max Homer is not someone who you would necessarily first think of for the tour and dressing well, but he clothes look good on Max Homer. He's now with Lululemon. Lululemon make, for me, some of the best golf trousers on the market. The ABC trouser, Warp Stream Slim Fit, is one of the best trousers on the market. Um, and obviously, him wearing those, showing us a little bit more of the polo range. And he always looked good in FootJoy. Like I don't want to rag on my FootJoy friends. FootJoy know how I feel about the apparel range, and the apparel range is getting better. It's getting stronger. They're offering more stylish clothing now than they sort of ever have done. But he always looks smart in the FootJoy gear. He always and like we said in part one with Billy Horschel, like it's the ability to put outfits together. It's the being able to pick the right pants to wear with the right shirt color wise, and then wearing a shoe that complements, a belt that complements, a hat that complements. Being able to do that is vital to for me to looking good, and Max Homer has done that historically very well, whether that be with Lululemon or FootJoy.
Yeah, I love those. I think Max Homa flies under the radar from a fashion perspective. And the shift to Lulu is different, but hopefully he can get his swagger back a little bit. It's started to emerge a little bit, started to play well in the Masters last 2 days. He was climbing up the leaderboard too at Quail Hollow, the PGA
Yep.
Championship. So his game is coming into form, which is good. I'm a big Max Homa fan. I think that he is good for the game. I love his social media presence, his comedy bits that he does with reviewing people's swings is hilarious. But yeah, I would agree. He dressed sharp before Lulu, and I think now it's just a different logo, and it's still equally, if not more, as sharp.
Yeah, the he's another one. He just gear looks good, and yeah, I completely agree with you on the social media front. He for me utilizes social media the way that golf pros should utilize social media. Bring some personality to it. You get an insight into him as an individual, um, and it makes you pull for him. Like why do I pull for him? Why do you pull for him? Because we feel like we know him better because of his social media presence, which I think is very important. So yeah, much love to Max Homer from this side of the pond.
Yeah, absolutely. So we talked about some players that stuck out to you, and I'm fully aligned with all the ones that you mentioned. I'm also a big Ludwig guy. Was fortunate to be able to follow him around for the Tuesday practice round at the Masters this year, and uh, he's probably around that 6'3", 6'4", but he seems way bigger. Whenever you see him in person. Um, Great guy, love his game. Arguably one of the best drivers of the golf ball. He's already started to compete in these majors. Definitely going to be pulling for him. But switching focus a little bit to more of brands that have emerged in sort of this modern era. And let's I guess define modern as like post 2000, right? Maybe
Okay.
post like 2010. So when you think of more modern brands that have emerged, like what sticks out at to you, over the last, call it 20, 25 years?
Um, so currently, I mean, for me, most recently, I'll stick with most recently. Um, Melbourne is the first one, and I just want to touch on that because we've already mentioned Jason Day. They have approached the golf industry, the golf fashion industry, with a different take, disruption, if you like, to the space, and offered golfers the chance to dress differently. And they're not the only ones. There are other brands who have done similar things, but Melbourne for me have taken it the most mainstream. When you dress a tour player, that's when for me you start to. The tour still has be plenty of people I'm sure who would disagree with me, but the tour is still for me the main inspiration when it comes to golf fashion. It's the main trend setter when it comes to golf fashion, purely because of eyeballs. On the sport, you look at how many million people watch the final round of the Masters. Like that's where you're going to be influencing the way that people dress is on the television. Um, so Melbourne are one. Grayson from another side are another brand that they have links, personnel links to Ralph Lauren RLX. So there's a sort of the brands look somewhat similar, but Grayson have definitely brought a new energy to that more technical fabrics, that more um, golfer look, shall we say? Garments that fit great colors, great patterns, nice materials. You know, good solid products. Grayson have done a fantastic job. RLX as well, Ralph Lauren, a little bit older in the game than Grayson, have been around a little bit longer, probably since 09, 10, 11. Around that sort of time would have been when RLX were first kind of coming onto to the scene. Um, if I was to wear one brand from head to toe for the rest of my life, I would probably go with Ralph Lauren RLX. Just I love what they do. I just think that from knitwear to trousers to polo shirts, shorts, they very few items that they release in a collection that I don't kind of jive with. So yeah, they make some good gear. McCade is one that I wanted to touch on briefly. Very new to the space, only been around for a short time, but make again along with Lululemon some of the best golf trousers in the game. They're sponsoring Alex Noren, sponsoring Ewan Ferguson on the DP World Tour. Been fortunate enough to have a couple of calls with the guys at Melbourne, at McCade, and they make some really good product, and it's a good team. They're all golfers there, so when you got a brand that's made up of golfers and they're making golf apparel for golfers, designed by golfers, you're onto a winning formula because golfers know what golfers want. So yeah, big shout out to them. I have to mention Uniqlo, I think, as well. I think they, with the help of Adam Scott, are offering great product, good looking silhouettes, good cuts at just insane prices. Like the pricing on I've got one of their polos from the recent collection, £24.90 here in the UK. I can only imagine that's probably $35 in the States. It's well fitting. It's got a little bit of stretch to it. It's a lovely color. It's got some nice details as well. It's rare that you find brands that offer products so cheap that still pay attention to those small details. And Uniqlo definitely do that. So, that's Uniqlo. Like, if you want your basics, if you just want basic gear, but you want nice details, good fits, good fabrics, it's not going to last you forever. And it's not designed to at that sort of cheaper price point. But I mean, they're just making great gear. So, and obviously Adam Scott looks epic. So that certainly helps them. Adidas obviously been around for a little bit longer than the last 20 years, but 25 years, but in golf have always made great product when it comes to shoes, when it comes to, trousers, Ultimate 365 trouser. You're just looking to get into golf and you want a pair of decent trousers, around £55 here in the UK. You kind of can't really go wrong with them. It's a smart looking trouser, and they just do everything right. Sportswear brand. They just make great product from polos to jumpers, and a lot of their more casual wear is very, very nice, as well as then getting into that originals collection that we sort of touched on. I believe in part one, that collection going back, taking inspiration from that time, 70s, 80s, and bringing that into modern day with modern day materials, but with that look that would have fit back then. Great collection. Only I think half of it's released. I think we still got half of that to still come out in the marketplace. Got some incredible gear to come as part of that, like some really nice stuff that people haven't quite gotten a chance to see yet, which is very exciting. I'm just rambling here, so just if you want to jump in, I'm just going through a couple of my favorite brands.
Keep going.
Reflow is one. I'm wearing a Reflow shirt here. So a big part of golf fashion now, and brands across the board in the fashion industry as a whole, sustainability is absolutely huge nowadays. Brands are creating product upon product. There is so much in the marketplace. So to be able to have a brand that focuses on sustainability, making products from recycled materials, and then making it designed to be recycled again when it comes to the end of its life cycle. This is the Bohai polo that I'm wearing here from Reflow. I have about 5 Reflow shirts, 5 Bohai polo shirts, exactly the same shirt, just in different colors. They come in a bazillion different colors. And it's one of the best fitting polos, most comfortable polos I've worn for a very long time. So shout out to Reflow. Their reloop program, which is what it's called, is made from recycled fabric, and then it's designed to be recycled at the end of its lifetime. I think they plant a tree for every order or every product sold on their
Oh,
website, which is really cool. So Rory, who's the founder, great guy. He and the guys do a fantastic job of pushing the sustainability side of things, which is vital for brands now. You have to differentiate yourself in a world where we have so much choice in the golf fashion space. We have so much choice now, more choice than we've ever had. So as brands, you have to be able to stand out. You have to be able to do things differently, and to go down that sort of sustainability side of things is very, very cool. And then one more FootJoy on the golf shoe side of things. I can't leave FootJoy out. FootJoy for me, 2021, which is not that long ago. FootJoy did their first ever shoe collaborating with a brand. Now you think back to 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, every sort of major. Adidas had a limited release shoe coming out. Nike had a limited release shoe coming out.
mm,
FootJoy didn't do that. FootJoy did. Maybe you got maybe a couple of colorways of a silhouette earlier in the year, and then you might get a couple of colorways later in the year. And for the most part, marketing was a little stale. They were the number one brand in footwear sold across pro shops. I'm pretty sure globally. Be astounded if I wasn't right on that. So they didn't really need to do more. But in the last 5 years, what they've done, and to transform the Premier Series into maybe the most desirable footwear model on the market, and to be able to do collaborations with John Buscemi and Metalwood, who were another brand who are really pushing the envelope when it comes to what you can wear to play golf. And then upcoming this week, actually, this Friday, with the Amy, or is it Amy Leon Dor ALD, sticks at ALD. It's easier to say, but the ALD collab that they've got coming out this Friday on the 30th. Just what they've done to transform the brand from that kind of just releasing a limited amount of shoes, start of the year, end of the year. Always made great product, we know that, always have. But to then put that element of excitement, those energy releases, to bring that to the brand, I think has been incredible, and just seen them take off to new heights. So props to them on the shoe front.
yeah, I love it. So interesting. Couple takeaways. Really good information there. Some brands I've never heard of before. I'm gonna have to check out the Reflow. I'm probably gonna go order 2 or 3 of those whenever we wrap up today, because you can never have enough just, solid golf polos, especially at that price point. We love that. Um, no mention of Sunday Red emerging on the scene with
Yeah,
Tiger
they
King.
just so Sunday Red, they need some time, right, to bed in. I haven't had my hands on the gear, so I find it's difficult for me to really um, kind of build a relationship with a brand where I can't touch the product. I need to be able to touch it. I need to be able to wear it. I couldn't recommend it to someone without feeling it. I've got a couple of the pairs of the shoes. They're not the right size, so I can't wear them. But I do have 2 pairs. Mix up in marketing, just is what it is. So we're trying to get those swapped out. Um, but the shoes, quality of the shoes, really, really well made product. And no doubt some of the designs of the polo shirts are great. It's taking a lot of inspiration from the Peter Millars of the world, which again is another brand that you could mention as to doing some really good quality gear. One I probably should have written down there. The problem is, like, I could write that brand and I could write down 2 or 3 others. Like we really are in the best space we ever have been for consumers having choice in the marketplace. And it just goes back to the polar opposite, as we discussed in part one, of that 70s era where that's just what you wore to play golf.
Mm.
Like there wasn't all this choice in the marketplace that you have now. There are a handful of brands, and that's who that's and a handful of styles, and that's what you wore. We just have so much now, so much choice as a consumer that we can choose how we want to dress. Allows people to develop their own styles, and some people might just want to wear what they find most comfortable. People might want to wear the swaggiest gear that they've got going. They want to really ball out on the golf course. They want to be wearing the hottest new shoes. They want to be wearing the coolest new brands, and that's what they enjoy doing when they go and play golf. Like we have so much choice now that we've never been in a better spot, golf fashion wise.
Yeah, I completely agree. We've come a long way since the early days when you and I both started golf, where it was just mimic everything that Tiger did or wore. I'm glad you mentioned Peter Millar because Peter Millar is probably 80 to 90 plus percent of my closet. Peter Millar shirt right now. The fit is so great. I love their designs. It's one of those brands that sort of like an RLX that is just it will stand the test of time. Some of these more innovative brands, they may come and go, but FootJoy, Peter Millar, RLX, those brands aren't going anywhere. You know what I mean? So I'm glad that you mentioned them. Special. I'm obviously a little bit biased with that shout out, but I think you have inspired me to explore some other brands as well.
Yeah, and but yeah, do explore other brands, like do that, but at the same time, like wear what you're comfortable in, like wear what you like. Like I can stand here and I could do an Instagram piece where I can recommend you style something in a certain way, and I can do a video on YouTube about what not to wear in 2025. Like I could do that, but ultimately people should wear what they want to wear and enjoy going and playing the sport of golf wearing what they want to wear. Like it boils down to that at the end of the day. What you're comfortable in, what you want to wear. Like the amount of times I get a DM from someone saying, "Oh, like I really like those new FootJoy shoes that come out, but I don't think I'm good enough at golf to wear those shoes." Like wear the shoes. Like if you want to wear those shoes, look, who cares what other people have to say? Like if you rock up and you top it off the first tee wearing a fresh pair of shoes, who cares? Like if you want to wear those shoes and that makes you happy to wear those shoes, or a jumper, or a pair of Larry trousers. Like if you want to wear that, if you want to wear those green trousers and you think that looks good, do it. Like if that's going to get people out playing the sport of golf a lot more. I hate the whole I'm not good enough to wear a certain thing. I wish that could just be banished, put in the bin, and forgotten about as a social sort of idea that people have. Oh, I can't wear those. I'm not good enough. Rubbish, absolute rubbish. So yeah, please, people, wear your if you got nice stuff that you like that you bought but you're scared to wear it, just wear it, please.
Yeah, I love that. I would much rather be wearing a fresh set of FootJoy shoes and top it off the first tee than wearing some rags and topping it off the first tee.
I've done it. I've topped it off the
Yeah,
first tee wearing a
yeah,
pair of FootJoys, and I can tell you, I just don't care. Like the shoes look good. I'm happy. So let's roll on. I'll play the ball from wherever it lies, and we'll just get on with our game of golf, and we'll have a good day. So yeah, just wear what you want, wear what you like, wear what you're comfortable in, all that kind of stuff.
yeah. So, all right, my only question or caveat to that is, where do you stand on the trend with some of the joggers and hoodies and things like that starting to emerge into the space too?
Yeah, don't look again. People wear what they want to wear. I complete the hoodies. Hoodies are a really interesting one because you get different styles of hoodies. You get different materials. If the hoodie is one of the best hoodies for me personally on the market to play golf in, FootJoy do like a basic hoodie.
Hmm.
It's great. The fit is really, really good. If it fits, the hoodie fits more like a quarter zip does. That's designed to play golf. So you've got some nice elasticated cuffs that aren't going to get in the way of your grip and aren't going to be baggy, and your arms aren't too baggy. If the product features some stretch, it's well fitting. It's made from a technical fabric, so it's going to keep you, a little bit cooler in those hotter weathers. It's maybe going to be a little bit more moisture wicking. It's going to have that stretch that you need. Like, I'm all for that as a hoodie. I have to draw the line at the more fleecy style hoodies that I would wear to go shopping on a Saturday afternoon, whenever it might be. Those more cotton style oversized hoodies. I don't personally think that is a a great piece of apparel to wear for golf, mostly because of the functionality side of it. It's just I'd like to wear clothes that are going to help me, not help me. I want to wear clothes that aren't going to hinder my golf swing. I don't want too much. I want to be taking my grip when I'm putting and having a kangaroo pouch for pockets, like hanging down and getting in the way of my grip and that sort of thing. Like for me, I don't see the sort of the point in wearing that to play golf when you can still wear a hoodie, but it be a more technical fabric that's well fitting. You have to think about these things like the brands who make these hoodies, the more technical hoodies, the FootJoys of the world. They are thinking about the hood when it comes to how the hood is going to react during a golf swing. Like some of the brands that charge that a little bit more for that hoodie have magnetic bits in the back of the hood that will sort of magnetize to the back of the top to keep the hood in the same place when you're not wearing it over the top of your head to stay out of the way during your golf swing. Like that's brands are thinking about that when it comes to the development of these hoodies. So to just get like an off the Nike sportswear hoodie, cotton hoodie from whatever Nike retailer that you want to purchase it from. Look, if you want to wear that to play golf and that's what you're happy in, go for it. Do it. But for me, I think that's going to get in the way of your golf swing rather than help your golf swing. And hey, there's some people out there that don't care about that, and that's what they want to wear to play. And fair play to you. But the joggers side of things as well is one. Like joggers, I think joggers were really here about 3 years ago, 4 years ago. I feel like the joggers have slowly started to. You're not seeing too many of them now. I feel like there were new brands coming out with new joggers, a lot towards back end of 2021, 2022. I don't think you're seeing it too much now. I just think joggers are tough to pull off with like socks. Like, what do you wear long socks underneath a pair of joggers? Do you wear like cut off socks? And if you're going to wear cut off socks, like are the sort of the no show socks or ankle socks you're going to wear? They're going to complement the joggers. Are they going to be a bit of a different color? Like what I've never quite gotten that styling side of things with joggers. So I kind of tend to stay clear of joggers personally. But hey, I know a lot of people who have plenty of pairs and really love them to play in. I think with a pair of Jordans, if you got like a pair of Jordan 4s, Jordan 1s, maybe like a high top shoe, like I think the jogger then sits really nicely at the top of that shoe. And that makes for quite a nice look. So I've got a pair of the Jordan 4 white cements golf shoes, which is one of my favorite pairs of golf shoes I have. That was an era, by the way, of when Jordan were dropping all of those, and Jordans were selling out every 5 minutes and resale value and all that sort of stuff on the golf Jordans. But yeah, with a pair of Jordans, something like that, I think the joggers look good. But again, stick to a technical fabric, not on cotton. That's going to be hot and sweaty any time of the year. We don't need that out on the golf course.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the functionality piece with some of the hoodies. I don't have a performance golf hoodie yet. Haven't taken.
Peter Millard do a good one, man. Peter Millard do a good performance hoodie, like
Yeah.
plenty of really nice fabrics, well fitting stuff. Like definitely, as a PM guy as you are, I would definitely check one of those out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to, especially with you mentioning that they design it for somebody who's making a golf swing. It makes sense, but just since I don't have any in my closet yet, that didn't really resonate or come to mind. And just little details like the magnetic pieces in the back. That's really
Not all brands do that, but there are some. Yeah.
yeah. That's also been sort of my I don't know, my Achilles with some outerwear, right? And harsher weather conditions when you're wearing rain gear and things like that. I've always been a FootJoy rain gear guy, but I always have to do like the cut off sleeves because I feel like if I do the full length, it inhibits my golf swing a little bit too much. And maybe there's some other stuff on the market that I can check out that's a little bit more functional. But historically that has been a bit of a challenge for me is in those harsher conditions not feeling like I'm too bulky where I can still make sort of a free swing, which I would imagine FootJoy has made some improvements and is always releasing stuff in that respect, but there's still only so much that you can do given the fabric and material because it has to be moisture wicking and it may not work as well as something like a quarter zip type feel.
Yeah, outerwear is so I have a recommendation for outerwear. So Juice, who spelled KJUS,
Hmm.
formerly a ski brand, um, got into the golf space. I want to say 2016, 17, around that time, I believe. They do one of the best jackets on the market. They've done several iterations of it since. I have one of the original. It's called the Pro 3L,
Hmm.
Pro 3L. I have one of the originals. They've done like a 2.0. I think they might even be onto like a 3.0 now. One of the best. Like they have stretch panels in the back. You have some adjustability around the cuffs that you don't really feel like it gets in the way too much. I've got a developing relationship with Galvin Green as well. I've got one of Galvin Green's newer jackets. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet because actually, believe it or not, I know you guys might not think this, but we've had some really good weather in the UK over the last sort of 6 weeks or so. I think we've had maybe like 1 or 2 days rain in that time. So it's just been sun. It's just been great temperatures, and so haven't had a lot of chance to test out this new jacket that I've got from Galvin Green. But yeah, up to this point, I would say that Juice for me do some of the best outerwear gear on the marketplace. They're now owned by Acushnet, who are the company that own Titleist and FootJoy. So yeah, when you've got someone like Acushnet who are buying up a brand, especially in today's day and age, you know the gear is going to be very very good. So yeah, definitely worth checking out Juice if anyone's in the market for a new outerwear rain jacket. They do good trousers as well. Do good trousers.
Yeah. Well, it's a good problem to have if you're not having to use the new rain gear right now.
Yeah, I'm just not. Dude, I'm just not going to play golf if it's raining. Like I just I'm call me a fair weather golfer. That may be what I am. But if it's raining, I'll only play in the rain if I absolutely have to. If I've got like a match or yeah, just I'm playing in a golf day, something like that, and it's not going to get moved. If it's a general play round of golf, if there's a game of golf with some friends, you don't get much rain in Texas, right?
Interestingly enough, we had massive storms come through the last two nights.
Okay.
So rain in the forecast all week this week, but it's generally not too bad. No, if it does rain, it's typically shorter showers, which then just stops and turns into humidity, and it's just unbearable
Hmm.
at times. I'm with you though. It has to be the right time and place for me to play golf in the rain. And
Yeah.
just recently, whenever my best friend Chase Gonzalez and I um, we were in Augusta for the Masters. We went out to Palmetto Golf Club in Aiken, South Carolina, and this was the Monday of Masters week. So we just flew in. We're hyped up. It's raining a little bit on the drive in. Checking the GPS or checking the weather apps, all these things. Like, okay, looks like the radar's showing it's going to move. We should be good. Sure enough, this was probably the worst rain I've ever played in. I'm telling you, we could have not physically been more wet. It was absolute insanity, but we were playing a great golf course. We were we were in Augusta for the Masters, so we just kind of sucked it up and dealt with it. We only got about 10 holes in when it was all said and done before they came out and said, "Hey guys, we've got to call it," which was the right decision. But it just everything soaked to the brim, right? Like I could have used one of those juice rain jackets. Funny enough, the Malvin guys were out there as well, and I think it probably gave them a good opportunity to debut some of their more like rain gear and outerwear. So they were able to turn some lemons into some lemonade, whereas Chase and I, we phones wrapped up in towels in the cart and just sort of like
Wow.
okay, it's everything's going to be wet and it is what it is. But we would only do that in a place like if we're playing Palmetto and Aiken. We would not do that here in Austin if we were going to go play. We would just take a rain check.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, here's one for you. And I don't know if we've talked about this previously. We talked about, you know, who who was your favorite golfer fashion wise previously in part one? You mentioned Arnold Palmer, but if you had to build a dream foursome fashion wise, that is like this is Sam's Mount Rushmore of golf fashion. Who are going to be the other three gentlemen joining you or ladies? But
Wow. Dude, that's really tough. That's really tough. I'm gonna actually, it's not really tough. I am going to have Billy Horschel is just going to be on there. Just has to be on there. Just yeah, unbelievable in what you know. I'm fortunate now with what I do that I get a chance to experience a lot of product. Like I get to get my hands on a lot of gear, which is was really great for reviews and content and that sort of stuff. It's very rare that like I'll go out and buy something now. I don't want to sound like yeah, I don't want that to sound funny, but it's rare that I go out and like I'll see something that I really want and I'll go and buy it. Like it's
yeah,
fortunate that I don't have to do that all that often, which is very nice. But he was wearing a jumper at the BMW Championship at Wentworth last year. It was green, collared, long sleeve knit piece. Saw it, I was like, have to own that. I just have to have that. It just looks so good, and it's just like just so Billy Horschel, yeah, is going to be on there. There's very few people that really um, get me excited when I see them wearing a product. I have to get that. So he's one. Adam Scott is another. He's gonna be on there. Just always looks great. Like Aquascutum days. I think was he with Burberry. I think a bit before that. He's a guy. Yeah, has pretty much always looked good throughout his career. And I'm going to go with someone actually who we haven't mentioned, who I meant to mention earlier, and he's a little bit the forgotten man, mainly because of where he plays golf now. But that's another topic altogether. That'd be Henrik Stenson.
mm,
Now, like Henrik Stenson through the Boss years, were just like back when Boss was really good before they changed the logo. The company, I don't know why they changed the logo. I don't know what the story behind that, but they kind of lost something for me when they changed the logo. But there was that time, I want to say 2015 through to 2018, something like that, where like the big pro logo, the Boss pro logo stuff that all the players wore, the massive logo. Back when like that stuff was hard to find. Like they didn't really do much retail of that product. Um, I had a few polos. I've still got a few polos up in the wardrobe. The knitwear that they used to do, some of just the best knitwear that's ever released for me to the marketplace for a golfer. just I've got again, I've got a couple of knitwear pieces still from back then. Like the designs, the details, the materials. They used to use virgin wool, softer, which was beautiful product, really well made gear, and it kind of got. And Henrik used to again, Henrik, another person, 6'3", 6'4", great frame, golf clothes just look good on him. So he was a big. Also used to wear FootJoy icons, which anyone who's wearing a traditional style golf shoe always went up in my estimation. So yeah, I would put Henrik Stenson up there. Obviously now, unfortunately, plays on live and has to wear Majestic's gear, which is just sad for him. But yeah, that golden era when he was at that time when he was winning the Open, him and Phil at Troon, like what an era.
Yeah, I love it. It's a hell of a force in there. All right, so a few questions to wrap up part two of the episode is um, where do you see sort of the future of golf fashion headed in the next 5, 10 years? Any bold predictions, or do you think it's going to be kind of more of the same?
I think I did a post on Instagram about this couple of days ago. I think we're going to start seeing brands reverting back to the tour look. I think a lot of the brands that have started last 5 years or so, who have come into the space since we've had this big boom. Um, I think the brands that change and adapt, and when I say change and adapt, brands are going to have to do more now to survive than just make good product. I'll use Manners as an example, another brand we haven't really mentioned. Um, they make some great gear, but the gear was originally sort of pitched at the younger, newer golfer. It was a lot of old school inspiration in the designs. It was definitely an alternative way to dress to play golf. I think they'll not be happy with me for saying that, but they make some really good product. But they came into the space at a time where a lot of brands were coming into the space. And one thing that they've done that's separated themselves is they they have a great media team. They have a team who make some fantastic content. The cinematography is just next level. The photography that they do for their campaigns is is next level. I know a couple of the guys that do it. They are some of the best at their job, and I think you're going to start to see some of these brands look to add media production to their arsenal as well as making product. That's so a lot of the brands are doing more in-house photography for campaigns and that sort of stuff. And I think so. Manners have been used by the PGA Tour to go and shoot documentary style content for the PGA Tour. So that's adding to Manners' brand revenue, adding to their bottom line when it comes to the end of the year when they go, we've sold X number of trousers, but also we did this shoot for the PGA Tour. So I think you'll start to see over, I think, more 10 years. I think Manners are very early on that, but I think you'll start to see a lot of your favorite brands making content for third party enterprises, which is pretty cool. If they do it half as well as Manners do, then yeah, there'll be a lot of great content coming in future. But yeah, I do think we'll see the tour start to lead things. I feel like although TV ratings for the tour seem to be down, all I keep hearing is there's less and less people watching the PGA Tour. Um, I don't think that's going to be the case for a long time. I think the tour is going to start to get the eyeballs back. I think Rory winning the Grand Slam has been a huge will have a huge impact on that. You've got Scheffler at the top of the game, who's not the most charismatic gentleman who's ever played, but unbelievable golfer, like Tiger Woods level. When it comes to the numbers that he's putting out, the tournaments that he's winning, how dominant he is, and to do that in the modern era is very impressive. And so, but I think the style, more eyeballs on the tour, brands will start to go more down that that tour look. So when I say that, I mean when I say tall look, I'm talking about good colors, good fabrics, good fitting, well fitting gear. I think that's what we'll start to see a little bit more of, rather than the oversized cotton feeling look that we kind of had in the last sort of 5 years or so. So yeah, I think that's sort of a couple of things to look out for. Technical fabrics will lead the way, and I just hope that we have more and more sustainability added in as well. I know Adidas have done their part with a parlay gear that they brought out a lot of concentration on recycled gear and upcycling and that sort of thing. With what Reflow are doing, other brands are doing it as well. So hopefully we're able to create more of a sustainable future um, for the golf fashion industry, as well as making great products. So so far we're doing a good job, but more and more brands need to do more and more in order to aid that. I think that's very important for the next 10 years. I'd love to sit here in 10 years time and every polo shirt that's being sold by every brand is made from recycled material and able to be recycled at the end of its lifespan. So yeah, I had someone comment on a video the other day on Instagram of on YouTube about, I'm not going to pay money for a polo shirt. I'm just going to wear it a couple of times. I'll just go to, can't remember where they said, but it was like, I'll buy a cheap polo, I'll wear it for 4 or 5 times, and then I'll chuck it away. Like, I don't really know how to respond to that comment, but I just hope that that's not the attitude of anyone who plays the sport in 10 years' time. So yeah, sustainability is huge.
Yeah. Well, hey, if Peter Millar starts doing that, then I've got plenty of old polos they can recycle. So that would be a good sort of a good deal we could muster up. So what's next for you, man? What are you working on right now? Anything exciting that's coming online here in the near future?
I've had general. I've had an amazing start to the year. Like I've gotten a chance to do some really cool things this year. Coming up, I am hopefully at the Scottish Open up at Renaissance. There's an event that Under Armour are putting on up there. Under Armour, a brand that I've not had huge amounts of experience with to date on my YouTube channel or my Instagram account. There is a review of the latest Drive Pro golf shoes that's coming to the YouTube channel tomorrow afternoon. So when you're watching this or listening to this, that should be live over on YouTube. So if you're interested in that particular piece of footwear, go and check that out. I've got reviews of a lot of product coming, like a lot of shoes coming. Puma Royale review will be out next week. Arrived during our recording now. The new Victory Tour Nike shoes. I haven't had any Nike product in my hands for a long time, so excited to check those out. So content coming on those. Lots of content, and then a couple of, hopefully by the back end of the year, we'll get a trip to the US in the diary. That's kind of pretty high on my priority list. So yeah, I am hopefully, yeah, a little bit more of that. But it's just going to be, YouTube's going to be a big focus for the next couple of weeks, trying to get as much content out on there as possible. So
Love
yeah.
it. Love it. Well, whenever you do make that trip to the States later this year, definitely hit me up. If you're anywhere near Texas, or even if it's somewhere that's interesting, which I'm sure it will be, I can jump on a plane. Would love to meet you in person and tee it up. But
We'll do it, man. Definitely. Let's make that happen.
told you too, I'm gonna be in Europe next year. So my wife and I will be there for at least a couple few weeks, and I will for sure make a stop through the UK. Whether we're able to tee it up or grab a pint or three, then would be great to see you then. But Sam, why don't you tell people where can they find you? Instagram, YouTube, what's all your stuff?
Instagram at the Golf Fashion Guy, all one word, and then YouTube the same. The Golf Fashion Guy on YouTube. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Like, subscribe to this channel, this podcast as well. Wherever you listen to your podcasts, make sure to leave a review. Yeah, that's kind of me really. I'm only sort of the two places. I kind of don't really do TikTok all that much, and so yeah, mainly Instagram, YouTube, at the Golf Fashion Guy. If you want to know a little bit more about the latest shoe or whatever it might be, that's the place to catch it.
Yeah, love it. Well, Sam, it's been a pleasure getting to talk to you today. It was great just diving into some history on golf fashion and apparel and just going through all this stuff. Your videos are fantastic. Was telling you earlier the Premier Series FootJoys. It's I've got two or three different pairs in my cart right now, so I'll be pulling the trigger on a pair of those soon. But really appreciate you coming on today. For the Ages, YouTube, Instagram, all that stuff. But yeah, otherwise, until next time.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it. And yeah, we'll do this again.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Cheers.